Hey guys, Socket7 here, once again. Here to do a cleat review on the Puma Powercat, what are they? Powercat 1.12. Alright. So, for those of you who didn't know, I believe this is the second generation of Puma's Powercat power boot. I can't remember if they had a power cleat before this. I know they had the V construct, but I don't know if that was considered a shooting or power cleat. Anyway, beside the point. The Puma Powercat serves its purpose definitely as a power or shooting cleat. At least I think so. Now, to actually say that a power cleat has more power than a regular any other shoe, any other cleat, is, most of the time it's a gimmick. There's a lot of things that go on, the Total 90, Nike's Total 90 line that is now discontinued, unfortunately. I really like that line. They had some pretty unique features that a lot of people bought into, and it may have helped the slightest amount, but it doesn't, it's not going to make you shoot harder, I don't think. Or it may minusculely help your swerve, your bend a little tiny bit. But really it comes down to the mental factor, I think. If something is marketed as a shooting cleat, people are and they think, oh, I'm good at shooting, I'm going to buy this shoe because that's my specialty. And then, their confidence is a little boosted and they might play better. So the idea is there. And in this cleat, I believe that the performance is actually there as well. Unlike most shooting cleats, I think that this might actually give you a tad bit of power. So the Puma Powercat, we'll start with the upper, like I do with everyone. Believe it's a kangaroo leather upper, which is good, I guess. It's not the greatest kangaroo leather, but it's labeled kangaroo leather, so it's not uncomfortable by all means. It's fairly comfortable shoe, and the kangaroo leather, as you guys can see, is the white, or the discolored white, the brownish white that I've been playing with. Starts back here, comes all the way up, around the lacing system, all the way up here. Or no, I lied. Start here, up to here, and then it stops right here, where you can see there's a little bit of a color difference. This back here is probably just some sort of synthetic or a full grain kind of leather. But from here forward is all kangaroo leather. And in the kangaroo leather is implemented a Puma 30 PST, as they call it, which are just some rubber pods that they throw in the cleat and that's their power element, which it's not very grippy. It might grip the ball a tiny bit, but it's fairly hard. And think about, the harder it is, really, the faster it should come off your cleat, because there's less, rebound. If you kick with your foot if you kick a ball with your foot, compared to a ball being hit, like by a swinging concrete, slab or a brick or something like that, the brick's going to go faster. If it's going, if your foot and the brick are going the same speed, because it's denser. So this density right here, I think, actually gives your shot a little bit more power, which is pretty cool. You don't see that very often. So you have the kangaroo leather, and this blue stuff right here is just a synthetic. It's pretty thick, actually. It's not the, It's nothing special. It doesn't help in any way. They might just be trying to lower the weight here, because kangaroo leather normally weighs more than a synthetic does. So you have your synthetic on the side, the outside of your foot. It's the left side over here. And that continues all the way around in the heel. And then also there's a little bit that wraps around up front right here. That pairs up with the full grain leather. Alright, so that's the upper. Does a good job. The laces, again, nothing really special. Just, it is asymmetrical, so it does come off to a slant a little bit, opening up your strike zone. This is a shooting cleat. So it only makes sense that they put the asymmetrical lacing off to the side to make the strike zone bigger. Now for the tongue. The tongue is, again, nothing special. It's pretty short, actually. It's got a little Powercat, tells you what it is. A little mesh lining, which I don't know what. I guess it looks neat. That's all I can come up with. There's nothing really there. Maybe it's for breathability. That's probably what it is. And we have your heel counter, your external heel counter, which is just plastic, and it does its purpose. It's very, very rigid, very hard. So it's, your heel's not going to go anywhere. And you guys should have enough support with this shoe. I've seen a lot of defenders wear this shoe as well, where they don't shoot very much. It's almost like a protection kind of shoe. It's very stiff, very solid. Nemanja Vidic, I believe it's, Nemanja Vidic. I think he wore this when it was out. Center back for Manchester United, one of the better ones in the world. And so yeah, it can be served as a shooting cleat, which it does well, and also a protection or a durable or a bulky kind of cleat. And by bulky, it's not completely bulky. It just will protect because it's thick on both sides, and it's got these pads up front, which are almost pods of protection, if you want to say it that way. The look of the boot, the athleticism of the boot, it does have a little bit of athleticism to it. It comes out, or I'm sorry, it goes in and it comes out. And Puma's known for their narrow-fitting shoes, and this is a little bit to the exception. It fits probably medium foot. I wouldn't call it a wide-footing shoe unless you're going to step it up another size or a half size. Of course, it gets a little wider as the sizes go up, but it's not a fairly wide-fitting shoe by any means. It's not narrow either, but just a medium to narrow fitting shoe for what that's worth. The sole, the insole, is very, very minimal. Nothing special at all about this. There's just your classic foam on the bottom and a very boring, if I say so, design, which I guess doesn't really matter at all to me. As long as the boot performs, I don't care about how it looks at all. So that's the top of the shoe. Now for the bottom, we have our sole and our stud pattern. And the sole for a shooting cleat, it does bend quite a bit, and so it's not completely rigid as I've seen other cleats before, but this sort of makes up for it up front, up top. And with this part being the main shooting part of the shoe, it's not up here or, for that matter, over on this side. It is fairly rigid up front where, they're expecting you to shoot. If they're expecting you to shoot right here, then this part of the sole should be, the most rigid, and it is. It doesn't flex an incredibly amount, and, yeah, so the shooting power is transferred from the top to the bottom as well. And for the sole plate, you get your pretty common Puma stud pattern. You have your 6 in the back. They look pretty aggressive. Look pretty aggressive to be studs. And you have your 4 on one side, 3 on the other, 2 in the middle. Nothing really, out of the ordinary. But yeah, kind of a neat looking pattern on the bottom. And the sole plate as well. You got a see-through plastic that gives a little, there's some vinyls on the back and some vinyls on the front, with the Puma thing in the middle. But yeah, overall, I just remember I wore these are my brother's cleats, and fortunately we were the same size, so we can, trade and switch on practices and stuff. But I took these for a day, and I think they're kind of small. They don't fit my feet perfectly. These are a size 9.5. I think. These are a size 9.5 US. Yes. So I would have preferred a 10. So they're pretty tight on my feet, and for my brother's as well, because he's got wider feet. So he doesn't wear them a whole lot. But I took them for practice, and I just remember we did a shooting drill that day, and I was on every single shot. Had a little knuckle to it, and the keeper really couldn't do a whole lot about it if it was a well placed, sides. And so every time I look at these shoes, I think of that practice and about the power and the knuckle that it had. So I think that these shoes do a pretty good job in the shooting aspect of the cleat. So overall, they're built for shooting, and if you use them for shooting, they're going to perform. So any questions, please comment below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. But other than that, I appreciate it, and comment, like, subscribe. Talk to you guys later.